doobie. Oh, doobie doo, doobie doo. Another doobie doo. Stick a doobie doobie in your doo. Doobie doo, doobie doo, doobie doo, doobie doo. Oh, didn't see you there. Greetings, boys and gits, and welcome again to Dread Waaagh Gaming. In today's episode, Dread is taking part in some competitions. As I previously mentioned in my news segment, there is a competition running for the Wargamers Unification Group, as you see in my intro all the time, the Wargamers Unification Group, run by Edic Beer. That's a competition to build a piece of terrain, and it has to be line of sight blocking. So we're going to take a little look at that. I'm going to start that project this week, and also I'm going to start the Ridgerunner, which was for the contest in the Bossmek'z boys, which I also mentioned. And the Ridgerunner contest is to loot a cult Ridgerunner, basically the Achilles Ridgerunner. That's it. The Genestealer's cult Achilles Ridgerunner. That's the bugger. So I'm going to loot one of those too. So that's what I'm going to do in this episode too. Start that project off. But before we do any of that, let's take a look at the news. Hello and welcome to the news. I'm your host, Artie Freeman. Today in the news, Abaddon the Despoiler is back. The big baby Beaky, who wants to throw his toys out the pram, is looking for a fight with Daddy's golden boy. Also, Max Mini EU have brought out some new models, some veteran Orks. These guys are looking fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I will do that on this channel and unbox them right here. Also, in the news, we have the winner of this week's, or last week's, or this week's, who knows? But the winner of the competition we had running for the kill tank, the Green One Doom tank, will be announced in this episode. So that's coming right up. Are we done now? Oh, brilliant. Oh. Blimey. In my previous video on kill tanks, I discussed the Ridgerunner contest running in Bossmek'z boys, and I'm going to be taking part in the Ridgerunner contest. It's to loot a Genestealer's cult Achilles Ridgerunner. So before we actually get looting it and converting it, we better open it. So let's have a little look. Now the Ridgerunner's priced at €35. Fairly expensive, I think, for a small vehicle. It's a very small vehicle after all. Looky inside. Obviously the box art is what you come to expect at this stage, isn't it really? Got a few different detail pictures and some of the colours that you can use. Typical, standard. Typical cheap cardboard too, really not all that tough, but it don't really matter. That's going in the recycling. Now you've got a vehicular base. Similar, actually. I will just double check. This is a Speed Freaks vehicle, so it's slightly smaller than the Speed Freaks vehicle. There you go. The base. So I'll keep that with that. Then we have 2 sprues. And the instruction manual. The instruction manual's got a colour picture on the front. It's colour coded on the inside for how to put it together. This kit looks like it's got a little bit more substance to it than the bikes. They went together very simple, but this looks a little bit more like some of the other. It's very much like if anyone's built the Goliath. It's very similar to a Goliath. A lot of the very same parts. The wheels are the exact same by the looks of things. And there's the rules. I don't know, painting guide. Yeah, I think the wheels are going to be the same as they are on the Goliath. Let's have a little look at these sprues. Now this is the main body. Yeah. It really looks, I don't know, like I just might be my age or whatever, I don't know, but I'm getting really fussy. But to me this looks so dated already. This looks like a kit from 15 years ago. Nothing really wow. There's a few bits and bobs that I can use elsewhere, like tanks with gauges and stuff like this. Yeah, I'm glad I'm converting it and not building it as it is, because I wouldn't be happy with that as a model personally myself. And the second bit is just the wheels, the riders and a few little details. Yeah, I'm not really sold on it. I know it's a very small vehicle for €35. Well, guys, let's not mince about looking at it in too much detail, because you're going to see that as I actually work on it. So let's get down to it, shall we? Okay, so what you can see I've done here is I've actually put together the main body of the Ridgerunner, but I've actually cut the top component, this part, off at that section there, just at the front. That's one of the bits that comes for that. That's a part for that. So these are all components here that go with this bit that I don't really need at the moment. So they're all spares for another project, or I might use them on this further down the line, who knows. So what I've ended up with is I've put the bottom on properly. I'm going to not put the wheels on just yet because I want to change those up. So I've ended up with just this shape basically. So I'm thinking to work from that. So I'm going to build a new front up from here and a new back. And I think it's basically going to be a squig buggy. That's what I'm thinking at the moment anyway, because it's not quick enough to be one of the custom booster blasters. It's not quick enough looking. And it's not quick enough looking to be with the other speedy one either, whatever the name is for it. So I think, yeah, probably squig buggy, probably be what that one be. There you go. Cool. Now I do have something of a question for you guys in the community, and it's regarding the rules on the squig buggy. Because it says in the squig buggy rules that the crew have the squig bomb sticks, stick squigs or whatever, and shotguns, but it doesn't actually state how many crew there are. You know, is that a misprint, or is that been errated, or what's the crack there? Because there are 3 Orks in the crew, I think, on the model, if you buy the model, and I think there's also some Gretchen. So, I mean, like, Gretchen can be crew too. Doesn't state in the rules how many. So what's the story? Can anyone answer that for me? I don't know. Bit of an odd one. These wheels are not connected. Just shake them off. They're just going to get orkified before they get put on. So I cut off half of the body, the top half as you can see. But I also I decided to cut halfway into the bonnet as well in the end as well, because I wanted to have an engine block in there, but I didn't want it going all the way back. I wanted it a bit more forward. So yeah, I've got this engine in there at the minute that I was just putting together. So from there, what I'll do is I'll probably build a cab up here, and then I've got to mount the squig weapon on it, because it'd be a squig buggy, so I've got to mount that on there. So that'd be the next stage, is building up the cab and stuff. So where I've got to now with this truck, and it looks awful at this stage because it's got this horrible box on the back, which it doesn't half now look like a box fan. But I've got this bit coming up over the engine here. I'm gonna, out of here, gonna have some exhaust coming up, and I'm gonna have more of a mud guard on either side, a trim either side, so it'll be wider. And then I'll send the exhaust up over this side, and then I think around this side I'm gonna have the squig weapon with like a gramophone, megaphone sort of like blast out, a bit like there is at the front of that engine air intake, something like that, but bigger on the side, that's shooting out the squigs. And I think the hopper for the squigs will be on hanging off of the back, because I want to leave the roof to have a lid that I can lift off, so you can still get inside of it. But with the lid, I want to use an inverted one of these. These are from the truck kit. It's one of the parts for where you've got the big shooter guy. And now, if I turn that up the other way, and I'll get rid of these pegs, or I can leave it like the other way, that might be flatter that side. So I use that because it actually works in absolute perfect harmony with all of the Forge World and Cromlech grot tank turrets, and I intend to make some grot tanks with the exact same turret size too, so they're all interchangeable as well. So that will mean that once this vehicle has got its wheels on, it's got its roof on, all the rest of it, it will be able to accept a turret too. So if rules change, or I don't want it to be a squig gun thing anymore, a squig buggy thing anymore, and I just want to ignore that weapon and have a better weapon represented on it, like a big shooter or a flamer or something, whatever, you know, like times change, and I want this to be versatile. I want all my models to be versatile really. I don't like keep having to change them for the rules all the time, so I do like to have magnetic changeable parts on them. So there's a pro tip for you. Don't be caught out by Games Workshop's ever changing rule systems. But that is as far as I got on that project so far. So I'll continue working on that along with all my other things that I'm continuing working on. But this one has to be done because it's part of the competition, so let's not forget, we'll get it done. Ta-da! Idic Beers Wargamers Unification Group Terrain Square Challenge. Now, in this challenge, we've got to create a piece of terrain that's going to block line of sight. That's the only thing it's got to do. So, what I was thinking, in a previous video, I was talking about these pieces from the Speed Freaks box set, and also they come in with the Mech's Garage. And I was complaining, saying about I don't like the way that some of these details are so far down inside these. They don't make sense if you look at them properly. It's just a 3D design error. And I want to make use of these. I've got them twice anyway, so I thought I'll make use of those. But obviously they're already pre-made, so I need to add a lot to them. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not really making anything. You know what I mean? So they're going to be the basis of something. So I started thinking, well, what do I want to do? I thought, well, what would be really cool is also to use up that piece I have left over from the Puppets War truck. This back piece. So what I'm thinking is to make some kind of scrap heap grots base, like a burrow for grots basically. But I was going to use like I've got an old truck chassis as well, broken old truck that I snapped apart and stuff. Use that, use that, use those. These are the main component bits that I'm thinking, you know. Wouldn't mind using this old bit of an old tank that someone gave me to use, a friend gave me to use. I might use that as well. And then I was thinking like these little bits of tube as tunnels for the grots to run through the scrap heap. Obviously I've got to add a lot more scrap to it. And I've got this kitchen roll tube as well. I might be a bit big, that one. I quite like this one as well, this like sink U-bendy thing, because I thought you could have a bit popping out, coming up out of the scrap heap, you know, like you've got a scrap heap like this, you can have a little window up the top there. And it's just like a pointless, typically sort of grot, orky sort of thing, you know, like they've got tunnels going everywhere and there's just a bit that just pops up with a little window, you know, like this, so you can look out, just out the top of the scrap heap or something like that. So, yeah, I'm going to make, I think, like a scrap heap grot fort, roll with it, see what happens. These things usually organically sort of develop their own sort of idea as they go along. Something funny will happen, and I'll, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll make this like a stash box. Keep talking about stash boxes, so you can actually lift the roof off, and there's stuff going on inside. Or I don't know, like we'll see. See how engrossed I get in this, but it's all meant to be fun, isn't it? And I'm using up a bunch of old stuff, so why not? Let's have fun with it. That's unfortunately as far as I got with these projects this far. You know, I've only just started them, but I do have the rest of the month to get them finished, which is quite a short deadline for someone like me, so it's going to really push me to do them, and I've got a lot of other things to be getting on with as well. Not to mention, or actually purposefully to mention, I'm going to be very busy because I'm putting together the episode that I've been working on for quite a while actually. There's a lot involved with it really, and it's only the part one. I'm going to do several parts of this series because there's a lot to fit in, but I'm going to do a series on grot tanks. I've been promising it for a long while. It's coming next week, alright? And this first one, I'm going to be looking at the different grot tanks that are available, looking at some inspirations, and we're going to take a look at what I've got, and we're going to start putting some together, and we're going to roll on from there. So we're going to do some undercoating, rust effects and stuff like that. And I'm going to go through all the painting process as well. Going to do magnetising. Going to talk about the fluff. We're going to do some looking at the rules. We're going to absolutely cover grot tanks, alright? So tune in next week for the first instalment of that. And now, boys and gits, it's that time you've all been waiting for. My 300 subscriber giveaway competition announcement of the winner. Who is going to be the winner? Let's find out.
Guys, got the URL of the video there. Click. There are 66 comments. What? There's more than that. Well, that's how many unique comments there are. So 1 in 66 chance. I've got to verify that this winner has actually done all the sharing and that, but Marcos Castanelos. I can't say that. Yeah, cool. Well done, dude. I just checked that you shared and all that sort of stuff, and otherwise you are a winner.
Now, before we come to the end of the show, guys, you remember what time it is? It's Community Showcase time. And this week's couldn't be more topical, because this week's is an already, I would say, 99% complete entry for the Wargamers Unification Terrain Square Block Challenge by Edic Beer. There you go, I've got it all right. This is actually a guy who has his own channel called Mork and Gork. This is him, or this is an inlay video of his channel here. You should go and check it out. It is actually really very good. I enjoy watching it myself, and it's not got that many subscribers, which it really should have, because this guy's amazing at making stuff, and he's the machine. He goes through it just no time. So he's got this terrain piece built already. He moved on to another one. So he's making an Ork power station, as well as the original piece that he did for the competition, which was a Orky teleporter, which is based off of Stargate. So here, guys, I'll let you check it out to some funky music, and I'll shut the hell up. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do that before you leave, alright? Or I'll be round to you.